Yeah, so you guys know I've been really optimistic on the Pacers for months now. I believe that they were way better than the 4 seed that they were, and I remain in that camp. But I'm worried about this one for them. You know, Rick Carlisle went on radio here in Indianapolis this morning. That's where we got the possibility of he's going to be listed as questionable, and he's going to be a game time decision. And guys, let's be honest: if it's the elimination game in the finals, if you're listed as questionable, you're going to play because you're not going to be able to deal with being 50-50 and not playing. And I do also will tell you that part of what happened in this game was that the Pacers were not, ready to deal with Haliburton not being at 100%. And they didn't have a game plan ready, and they will have a game plan ready in that case. I just think these last couple of games we've seen, as Stephen A. referenced, the Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander machine just get really cranking. We've just never seen these guys play this way, and they've got sort of a formula figured out. They've got the starting lineup back to where it needed to be with the double big. They have stretches of the game that they know they can play with Chet Holmgren as their only big man on the court. He's been terrific defensively. I feel like they've got momentum. Now, I will say this series has completely mirrored the series that the Thunder played with the Nuggets in the second round, including blowing a big lead in game 1 and losing at home, going down 2-1 and then bouncing back and winning game 4 and 5. In that series, they went to Denver and played a very average game in game 6, including Jalen Williams, who had really his last really bad game of the playoffs. He went 3 of 16 in that game. And that's in there, guys. Like, that could happen again. And I do expect Andrew Nembhard and Benedict Mathurin to be better after they kind of weren't great offensively in game 5. But I am looking at a Thunder team that I think is really impressive, and I just don't think Haliburton's going to be 100%, and I think they've got the momentum, and I think that's the way it's going to go.
Let's do a couple of things, and I'm going to give this point out because it drives me crazy. If you're injured, don't play. If you play, you're not injured. So I don't want to sit there and be in a situation. That's the old Jimmy Connors line. Jerry West played with a torn hamstring in the Celtics series in 68-69, was the MVP of the series. Willis came out, game 7. He couldn't move, made 2 jump shots, set the tone. So if Haliburton plays, I can't say, well, he's banged up, it's not fair. No. Don't play then, because I understand you got a calf, so I'm not trying to make light of it, but you can't go out there and play, well, I gave it a go. No. This is the game 6 of the NBA final. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm with Stephen A., Bry. I think the Pacers will figure out a way. They're not going to win both games, but I think they'll figure out a way to win game 6. I think Stevie hit it right on the head. I think the rest of the team will rally. You made a good point. They have a day and a half, 2 days to figure out what they want to do. Have to assume Haliburton's not going to play 40 minutes and be in peak condition. They did lose game 6. Oklahoma City did in Denver. I have to go back and look, Bry. You might know. Gordon was hurt in that game. I don't know how much he played in it. They got basically run over in the second half. Oklahoma City's not that good. I mean, everybody wants to make Oklahoma City out to be the 71-72 Lakers because they won the 68 game. Take it easy. They're not that good. So they are beatable.
Why'd you have to go back that far? Why you have to go back that far? You could have said they're not better than Boston with Bird and them in the 80s.
No,
you could have said they're not better than Jordan and Pippen and them in the 90s. You could have said they're not better than the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe and them at the turn of the century. You didn't have to go all the way back to 70, 71. Why you had to go back that far?
Well,
why you had to go back that far, doggy?
Because I just mentioned West. That's why, with the hamstring. So I was in my head because they won a championship. You're in a cranky mood because you're going back and forth all over the place with this NBA.
I'm not in a cranky mood. I'm in a very good mood.
You're cranky. And so you're taking it out on me. You're cranky right now.
First of all, I'm not cranky right now. That's number 1. Number 2, I don't know what tan you've been rocking. Where you been? It look like you got a little tan there. Number 3, you got a nice tie this morning. You got a nice tie this morning for a change. That's a rare occurrence. So I'm very, very proud of you with the tie. But here's what I want to get on you about, doggy. Seriously speaking. Come on, man. Could you be nice? Could you be nice this morning? Like, there is such a thing. Like I understand if you playing, you don't want to hear but so much. But if you're not 100%, it's not a crime to mention that. Like, we hope that there's no excuse for Haliburton to be as bad as he was in Game 5. I get that part. But it's not like we should expect him to be like he is when he's 100%. He's clearly not. Could you at least throw that out there? You've seen, even with the Birds, the West, the Chamberlains, the Mikens, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars of the world, everybody in between, okay? You've seen guys play at less than 100%. You know that they're not themselves. I think we could at least give Haliburton that grace. No excuse to look as bad as he did in Game 5 because, my Lord, that was awful, and it's the finals. But the flip side is, if you're not 100%, we got to at least give him that.
Ah, gosh.
You giving Hallie a pass?
You guys are so soft. Oh, you especially.
Doug, what do the Thunder have to do to impress you? For a man who knows history, if you look at what Williams and Gilgeous-Alexander are doing, they're doing stuff that like Shaq and Kobe did, that Michael and Scottie Pippen did, that LeBron and Kyrie Irving did. They're scoring like Durant and Curry. Like, I don't know why you're not impressed with this team. They won 68 games. They're showing incredible stuff. Each of them are averaging over 30 points in these last 3 games. Like, I mean, again, what do they got to do to impress you?
Well, a couple things. Can we call an offensive foul on Haliburton when he pushed off with that basket in Game 4 when they were down 1 with 2 minutes to go? If that isn't an offensive foul, if that's not a push-off, we should all go back to referee school. That's an
what, Jordan never pushed anybody off?
We said, and how many people in Salt Lake City forever have brought that up with Byron Russell when he pushed off in Game 6? An offensive foul is an offensive foul. Steve, you know that in your little days playing intramural basketball at Winston-Salem. When you push off, it's an offensive foul. I mean, listen, that was the 2 biggest baskets of this series in Game 4. But the fact that you and everybody out there wants to put OKC on this level, if you're an all-time great team, you want to be down 7 in the 4th quarter to Indiana at 2 games to 1 down?
Come on.
They're a nice ball. They're a nice little team. Nobody's going to, but this is not some juggernaut they're playing in these NBA Finals. And they had to go to the well in Game 4. Hold
on. What I will say is this. Wendy, their offense doesn't knock my socks off. I mean, up until Jay exploded over the last couple of games, it was pretty much giving SGA the ball in ISO situations and saying, come save the day. We've seen better offensive fluidity from teams throughout NBA history. But Shai Gilgeous is special. Jalen Williams is special. And I think that what we have to acknowledge is that what makes Oklahoma City collectively special as a team is there have been very few teams that can play defense collectively, Doggy, like these guys can play defense. They are a special team defensively. We got to give them that.
All right, let's leave it there. Oklahoma City is favored by 6.5 tomorrow night.
I'd take the points. I would take a 6.5 myself.
I forgot. You are a degenerate gambler.
I would take
so you would be the one to listen to. All right, guys, let's keep it pushing here. So yesterday, we discussed if the Memphis Grizzlies should consider trading their franchise player, Ja Morant. Well, shortly after the show,